Welcome. Today we review episode 6 of House of David, Giants Awakened. As usual, there's this prefatory warning at the beginning, and in this case, it should say that almost all of what you're about to see is fictitious. It all comes from the imagination of the screenwriters. Hardly any is actually from the Bible. But fortunately, there are some exceptions, and in every episode, you learn. If you start from zero, you will learn a little bit about what's going on in the Bible. Hence, we learned this episode about the fall of the Watchers. What is a Watcher? A fallen angel. So those guys that Genesis 6:1-4 talks about, their story is told at the very beginning of this episode. Then we see how Achish, the king of the ruler of Gath, plans to recruit Goliath to fight in the Philistine army. Goliath himself is supposed to be one of the Nephilim, descended from the Watchers. We have a scene where Michael and Mirab, the two princesses, chat, and we also have a scene where Saul and David chat. And then Doeg learns details of Samuel's visit to Bethlehem, and Doeg begins to plot. Doeg is quite a good villain in this series. Achish prints Goliath, that's the actor Martin Ford, with the arms and armor. The prop work is very impressive. We see the sword, the shield, everything looks very well made. Goliath's helmet is, I would say, I wasn't there personally, but I believe that is a pretty accurate presentation of what a Philistine giant's helmet would look like. Now, in the story, of course, Goliath's mother does not appear in the biblical story, but in the screenplay for House of David, she demands that Achish agree to hand over the throne to Goliath after the battle. Of course, it's a rather unrealistic demand. That's just not the way kings worked back then. You wouldn't hire somebody to win your throne just so you could give it to him. So that was kind of a leap, I think. Then Abner, Saul, and Jonathan discuss the Philistines' aggression on the border. Abner is a very cunning soldier and strategist in this series. Then we see Doeg come to Achish with a plan. How can he achieve what he wants to achieve? To get Goliath to fight for him and not have to hand over the throne afterwards. The mother is the problem. And Doeg, being an assassin, well, I think we can all see this coming. Meanwhile, back at Gibeah, Jonathan stops Ahinoam, that's the queen, and the priestess of Baal, who's been helping her, from influencing Saul's mental spiritual state any further. He basically just throws him out. Then Goliath, his mother, that's the actress Sienna Weber, and his brothers decide to leave their home. Now, their home is a fortress in a cave in the wilderness. In the Bible, Goliath is from Gath, so there's that. That very night, Doeg finds and assassinates Goliath's mother. And there's a scene where she actually does say as she's dying, "Avenge me!" As David returns to just from Gibeah, Jonathan travels to Mount Sinai in search of Samuel. He needs advice, some kind of counsel about what to do next. Because his father's getting worse, the threat from the Philistines is escalating, he needs guidance. What he gets is, at first, a fight. Jonathan and Samuel fight for no reason. It's a pretty good fight. And they chat about the fate of Saul's dynasty. On his way back from Sinai, Jonathan discovers the invading Philistine army coming to the Valley of Elah. And finally, Goliath agrees to fight for Achish and get revenge for his mother's murder, holding Saul accountable, even though it was really Doeg. Well, there's not much ground covered in this episode as far as the biblical story is concerned. Goliath is given a sympathetic motive, and Doeg and Hinnom are more villainous than the Philistines. The series is plotting toward the climactic final episode of the season. And that's all. You all have a happy Easter. The Lord is risen. The Lord is risen.